Morning, everybody. Mike Baker here, Constellation. We're going to do a walkthrough today of what this platform is, what we're working on, and some future use cases for this. I just want to briefly start with why this is at all important to me and why I've spent time trying to do this. I really believe that as business owners, we have a responsibility to the people that work with us. It's our job to improve their lives. It's our job to make their careers accessible, forward-moving, exciting, challenging, accountable. The better a job we do at that, the more likely they are to bring that home to their children, to their communities, to their families. If you grow the people around you, your business grows. So it makes sense to take a personal stake in how they perform, how they view their life, how they view their personal responsibility to your company and the people around them. You have one of the higher incentives in their life. You're the one paying them. And using that incentive to try to do good, I think, is the best way that we can live as business owners. What's in it for the audience? What's the purpose of watching this? Currently, we're targeting contractors. We're working in that industry for a few different reasons. For one, I know a fair amount about it. I've been in it for a little while. But more importantly, I know what they lack. And especially small and mid-sized contractors lack a lot of digital tools. They lack tools to gain business insights, organize their customers, automate responses, and automate reach-outs. So we wanted to target that area. For one, I think it's a great industry. I think it's an exciting industry. By the end of this, you're going to know more about how artificial intelligence relates to your life in this industry than you ever thought you needed to know. But in reality, it's here. It's coming. Tools are coming. Your competitors are using them. And it's only going to be days, weeks, or months until these competitive edges are in the hands of the people in your area. And a lot of people think they can avoid this, but it's not going away. So let's go ahead and get started. So Constellation, it's only technology. All right, so let's walk through some of these items. So our first thing that we're working on right now is a web app. And this web app is our minimum viable product. It's going to encompass presentations. It's going to have pricing, company info. It's going to have project management, journaling, communications, and quality control. And that encompasses our minimum viable product. We're going to take the data from this work and data from the work that we've done over the past 6 or 7 years, and we're going to leverage that into training data for our large language model. And this is kind of where the magic happens and where we're going to really leverage the information that we're gaining from contractors to really dramatically change the landscape of what's possible in businesses. We're going to be using VR human input, right? Visual and audio that we're going to be collecting, property photos, property measurements, demographic info. Probably most importantly is the unique customer info. Every interaction that you have with your customer, the emails, the texts, the in-person meetings, we're going to be collecting that and processing that so that the system can do the most tailored follow-ups that have ever been seen. All these go into a parser, which is really just a fancy way of saying putting it into the right buckets. There's also a marketing parser we're going to talk about in a little bit. And the easy way to think of this is just imagine that every photo or every piece of information just needs to go in the right bucket so the right piece of software can go and pull it out and access it again. And again, this is the magic layer, right? We're going to be doing a lot of tagging and prompt engineering in this layer, which what that means is that we're going to be taking those photos and be putting very specific information into them for the system to be able to identify for later use. And we're going to be prompt engineering in that process as well, which really just means requesting data and requesting certain packaging of that data from our system that we're building and figuring out how to package it in valuable ways for contractors and for our customers. And I'm going to show you a couple examples of that. The first one is for business owners, right? Imagine getting consult feedback on a regular basis as a business owner. Imagine the best computer with all the best consultant information and all the information about your business and every business in your industry. Imagine that analyzing all the interactions going on in your business, all the way from phones and booking, all the way through sales, all the way up through project management, quality control, mistakes, customer compliments, complaints, reviews, everything. And imagine that reaching out to you on whatever basis you deem reasonable. Do you want it once a week, once a day, 12 times a day? What moves you? And it will be reaching out and say, hey, John, based on watching sales appointments over the past 2 weeks, I really think that you should right? Maybe they think you should implement a new training. Maybe they're able to pull out a piece of training data and say, hey, maybe you want to use this, or hey, this other company's doing this, why don't you implement that, right? This would normally take 75 phone calls to 75 other owners until you heard 3 good ideas and then combined them, and then took weeks to make a document out of that and release it. It's immediate. We have 2 trainers. One of them's a soft skill trainer. And just imagine this for your salespeople, just as an example. Your salesperson is in a home, and he's getting feedback saying, hey, Charlie, I think I identified an objection that you missed. I identified a little thing here that if you just said this to the homeowner, they'd probably understand this and be able to move forward on this sale. Next thing is a tech skill trainer. Right? The tech skill trainer, imagine this for your foreman on site. He's taking photos and getting immediate feedback on those photos. He takes a photo of some dormer flashing on a roof that you're doing and immediately gets feedback saying, no, I'm sorry you didn't do this right, and gets those steps delivered to him right then. It's no longer hearing about that emergency in 3 years, 5 years, when all of a sudden there's water dripping through and their ceiling is caved in, right? We're going to take care of it right now before those shingles and siding are put back on, before the problem's covered up, right? We're able to address these things immediately. And even better, we're upskilling your people right then, right? This allows you to bring in newer people that you really like to work with and train them faster than has ever been imagined. I sort of lovingly call this process the auto sensei. Right, you're generating a master technician within your system for every single process that could possibly exist. Imagine having the best 25 people's brains all crammed into one little space for every single process. So this is intelligent learning and curriculum building. So what that means is over time it's watching what's happening. And maybe you've put in there a 5-step process for how those dormers are supposed to be done. Well, it's going to intelligently add in bullet points. It's going to intelligently expand or compress that list. It's going to take out steps that are superfluous. Okay, that auto sensei is critical to what we're doing. And we're also going to combine that with a content library, which is all of your training materials, articles, blogs, case studies, expert content, which is you as a CEO, owner, head trainer, putting in great content, and intellectual property if you have patents and you have other things that you've created that are in the intellectual realm. And all this is being leveraged back and forth. All this is training each other and also fact-checking it at the same time, right? And figuring out what of this is real. Did you put in a step that maybe isn't as scientifically proven and can be pulled out, or maybe it can be proven or stated differently so that your listeners or your watchers or your installers or your salespeople can understand it faster. And those are the insights that are going to be leveraged over there. At this point, we've got loyalty, so we're going to tack on a CRM, right? All of our users at this point are saying, wow, this is great. We're going to tack on a CRM and a sales pipeline manager, right? And what this is going to do for us is that we're going to go ahead and start managing that sales pipeline, start managing auto follow-ups and giving insights and saying, hey, you guys just developed this. Why don't you reach out to these 12 customers? They were waiting for this, right? We're also going to have funnels and retargeting going on in that. And what that just means is marketing. We're going to be looking at how do we get people to come down that funnel until they make a sale? right? Which means categorizing them properly, sending them automated emails, texts, or phone calls, and getting them further down that line and identifying what they really want. All that comes down to this avatar and repackaging layer. And this is another thing that we're going to be learning about you. We're going to be creating video avatars of each of us. What that means is that you, as the owner, CEO, the sales trainer, whoever you are, with your permission, the system can create an avatar of you that looks, feels, sounds, and writes like you, so that we can use that for follow-ups with customers, even in-house. Audio avatars, same thing. Email, it's going to write like you, write like the best email writers on the planet. And social media targeting intelligently, automations that are going to take and repackage all that content and put it out there at the right time and in great precision and volume. All these things funnel back up to our CRM side. The cool thing is that all these avatars can also come over to the tech training. Imagine that your foreman loves to hear from a specific production manager. Well, it can package as that person. It can speak like them. It can sound like them. It can have their rapport and candor. Maybe that tech really likes this guy for a specific reason. Well, he can hear from him instead of hearing from me. We also have a market research, a scrubber, and an industry data puller, and we're working on this right now. That's constantly checking keywords. It's constantly checking what's going on in the marketing world. How do we make sure that every marketing dollar that we spend is absolutely spent in the perfect place? Normally this has a bit of machine learning in the larger companies, but most of the time this is done by hand, where you're choosing a selection of keywords to try to appeal to get yourself to rank higher. And we're going to be automating all that. It's also going to help us figure out exactly where to target in social media, exactly what words, exactly what customers are searching for, exactly when and why and who. So the whole goal of this entire bottom half here, everything that's pretty much in purple, is, your goal as a sales organization is to stay top of mind for your customers until they're ready to make a purchase. When that moment comes, really whoever's there tends to get the sale, right? If you showed them that you're reliable, trustworthy, and you had a decent reputation, sure, the price matters, but really they're looking for trust over anything else. And we're engineering trust. This entire thing is a trust engine. Customers want quality control to happen. They want to know that when their foreman snaps that picture of that dormer, he's going to be forced, right? Obviously, we're going to hire good people who don't need to be forced, but he's going to immediately get great feedback. So now you can have a great-hearted person who doesn't have these tech skill mix-ups, and they don't need 30 years of experience. Gone are those days where you have a roofer whose father was a roofer and his father's father was a roofer. That's gone. We don't have that anymore. Okay, so that is, Constellation as a platform. There's a few other things that can get packaged in here. Predictive equipment maintenance, financial optimizations can come in here, virtual reality training modules. We can do blockchain-based secure transactions in the future, right? Which just means protecting data better than ever. These avatars and consultant keys, they can leverage into auto upsell features, right? Let's say that you're adding a new service and our system is able to track how old the roofs are automatically across your entire network, and able to automatically send a reach out to say, hey, we just started doing roofing. We know that your roof is expiring in the next 1 to 5 years. Would you like us to come take a look at no charge? Right? And we're able to leverage those kinds of things. So the ultimate future as well is a customer fix-it app, right? So now you've got customers who are they're installing their own reverse osmosis water filter that they bought from wherever, and they're able to take a photo of the missing piece, or maybe they thought they had all the tools and they don't, and they can take a photo of that, and it can automatically tell them the exact bit they need. They can take a picture of their toolbox and it can say, oh yeah, pull out this bit, you actually have it, put this with this tool and do this. Or it's able to say, hey, I was able to find these. The Home Depot down the street has 3 of these available, and Lowe's has 2. And the little home store that's closer to you actually doesn't carry these, right? It's able to automatically do these kinds of things. So that's a little bit of the present, near future, and soon-to-be future. I hope that's interesting to you. I hope that helps. Please don't hesitate to reach out. My contact info is here. Thank you very, very much for listening. I appreciate your time and your attention. And take care. Bye.